It's easy to lose track of the human connection when you're learning online. I mean, you log in, you read the modules, you submit your work. Somewhere in all that, you start to wonder, does anybody actually know I'm here? Like, hello out there, anybody hear me? So we heard about this again this morning from a panel of GCC online students that communication feels harder. Community feels harder. It's tough to know when to ask a question or how to reach out when something's not working. And before you know it, you're just trying to do everything on your own. But here's the thing, you're not supposed to. And tonight we're talking about how to make sure that that doesn't happen. I'm Loy from Online Learning, and this is Study With Me, Episode 10, We See You. Tonight I'm joined by Dr. Kim McKinsey-Mabry, who serves as our Vice President for Student Affairs and our Chief Diversity Officer here at GCC. And Dr. McKinsey-Mabry and her team are focused on making sure that every student, including those of you learning online, has access to support, resources, and advocacy that you need to succeed. So Dr. Kim, thanks so much for being here tonight. And before we dive in, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your office and how online students can connect with you?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me tonight, Loy. As mentioned, I'm Dr. Kim McKinsey-Mabry, and I have the sheer honor and pleasure of serving as GCC's Vice President for Student Affairs and the Chief Diversity Officer. My career has spanned about 20 years in higher education, primarily working in the community colleges, and so I'm really excited to be here. I see my main responsibility and that of my colleagues and my team is to really be thoughtful in how we create an environment where every student feels seen, feels heard, is supported, and also empowered. So whether you're on campus or you're learning remotely, whether you're full-time or part-time or any other student status for that matter, it's our responsibility to ensure that each and every student has what they need to meet their goals, that you can meet your goals. That's the mission of GCC. The Division of Student Affairs, really exciting. I consider us the college's hub for students. We oversee everything from student engagement and inclusion, athletics, financial aid, and the Adult Education Opportunity Program. Shout out to Christina, who I heard was here recently. And EOP. EOP is near and dear to my heart because I am an EOP alum as well. Career Services, the Testing Center, the Student Success Center, and gosh, I hope I'm not leaving anyone else out. But all of the supports that students need when they get here. And I think it's really important, again, our role is to make sure for those of you who are online to know that, one, we are deeply committed to making sure that distance doesn't mean disconnection. I hope we are reaching you and we're connecting with you through the virtual program, through virtual opportunities or phone advising, our online counseling services, our online events, which we're hosting more and more of, student leadership opportunities, and more. I want to make sure that we're flexible, that we're accessible, and that every single student knows that we are deeply committed to making sure that distance doesn't equal disconnection for you all.
Ah, it's wonderful. And I have seen a lot of that here we are starting to get more and more of our online students who are involved in campus activities, which is wonderful.
Yes, very exciting.
So exciting. So, before we really dive in deep, I did want to give you a chance to talk about your impressions of GCC because you're relatively new here. And so what's really struck you most about this campus? What makes GCC GCC in your eyes? And how is that shaping your vision for student affairs here?
Absolutely. So one of the first things when I was thinking about applying for the position that I'm in now, I reached out to a friend who used to work here, a colleague friend, and I said, if you can tell me one thing about GCC, why would I apply and work at the institution? And that individual said, GCC is a gem. And GCC really is a gem. I'm still relatively new, coming up on a year, but I feel like I just got here. And I can say that this community continues to leave an impression on me each and every time I walk in the building. I'm online for anything. What's really struck me is the heart of the people that are here, the heart of the students that are here, the heart of the employees that are here. There's genuinely a deep care for our students, also our colleagues, and for the communities we serve. But it's not just something we say here, it's really a powerful commitment that we have to meeting students where they are, where you are. And that matters to me. That mattered to me when I was picking the next institution to work at. I'm a graduate of a SUNY community college. I've worked in higher ed, as I mentioned, in community colleges specifically for almost 20 years. And I can tell you that the kind of culture that we have here at Genesee doesn't happen everywhere. It takes work. It happens here. But it's something that's really cultivated, and it's the reason why I chose this institution as my next home and my last home.
I'm glad that you're here. That's funny because I'm also a product of SUNY Community College.
Yay!
I am a full TAP Pell student, originally from Niagara Community College, and up through the SUNY system all the way.
Well, and so let me share. I'm first gen, full financial aid, EOP through community college. I completed my bachelor's degree at SUNY Empire, which, by the way, took me 10 years to complete from the very start date to the very end date. I kept going, and I was committed to getting to the end, and then I went on for my master's and my doctorate after that.
Well, I bet you did not think that I would say this to you, but I actually am with you on the 10-year bachelor's degree.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
That's
like,
okay.
Sometimes it takes that second chance. Patricia Rowland was on the program a few weeks ago talking about withdrawal from classes and life circumstances, and sometimes life just throws you for a loop.
Right.
And we had this whole conversation about how long it can take sometimes, but the important point is that you find your place.
Yeah, and stay the
stick
course.
with it.
Yes, stay the course. That's what I used to tell myself. Just stay the course. If I couldn't go full time, I took a class here and there. If I could take an accelerated winter course, I did each chance I could. If that meant giving up some time during my summer and juggling summer and schoolwork, I was doing that.
Well, sometimes that's what it takes. So I talked a little bit about, we had a student panel this morning, so we had some online students who came in, and we had faculty and staff and some deans who were all in the meeting, and we recorded it for those who could not attend live, just to give students a chance to answer some questions and give their feedback on their experience. And one of the things that they told us is that feeling like you belong, feeling like you're part of a community is so very important. And so many students don't think, well, I don't have time to do that. And yet it's such a motivating factor and such a determining factor in completion and sticking the course. So I'm talking specifically about some of the things that students said. They told us that they often feel like they're the only ones out there that are juggling work, kids, classes. And it's funny because every student comes into my inbox or comes into my Zoom room and says, I'm the only one who's doing this. And I think, no, you're the 30th one this week. But how do we help online students realize that they're a whole community unto themselves, they're a whole support group, and that we're here for them?
Absolutely. Well, let me reassure you, you're not alone, right? That was me, although many years ago, that was me. I was a single mom. I had just become a single mom after graduating high school. Went straight to community college, was trying to juggle that, was working, going to school full-time, a full-time single parent, and I thought I was alone back then too. Like, am I the only one here with, a child and trying to juggle all of these these important pieces of my life, right, with the goal of getting to whatever was supposed to be next. And so you're not alone. And I think what's important is as we look at the demographics at GCC, our predominant population of students, which continues growing, one, are our non-traditional online students, part-time students. And so you're not the only ones juggling work and juggling kids maybe in classes and all of those other responsibilities and things that you're accountable for outside of that. I want to say loudly and clearly, you are not alone. In fact, you're part of our large community, and we want to make sure that we're supporting you. 60%, right? So 60% of our students are part-time. That's an incredible, out of 100% of our students, right? I mean, that alone lets us know, as those who work here and those who are listening, that we're not your traditional college, right? We're supporting a population of traditional students, but we're also spending a lot of time focusing on how we can serve and support our part-time students, our online students, and students in every modality and every demographic, how we can support you. It's my responsibility to work with my colleagues across the college to find ways to create and amplify the spaces where everyone can connect with each other, where we can share those resources, thanks to things like this podcast, Loy. I think that's incredibly helpful for our students. And most importantly, build networks of support. To be quite honest, I don't think we can say non-traditional anymore, right? It is now it is our student population, right? A growing part of our student population. We're not the exceptions. And I say we're not the exceptions because, again, I was what would be considered a non-traditional student. And where I am working in the community college now, that's the furthest thing from my mind, non-traditional. It's the growing majority, right? You deserve the recognition, and most importantly, the intentional support and celebration. So that's the work that I'm responsible for doing, working with my colleagues across the institution to make sure that we're shifting that narrative, we're shifting our supports, we're meeting students where they are, making sure you have all of the equitable resources and opportunities to engage and just know that you belong here, right? That's the responsibility that I hold near and dear to my heart. We're all juggling kids and responsibilities and things, and we're not foreign to it, but we can help students to navigate that. That's really important.
All right.
We see you. We see you.
We definitely are seeing more and more of these non-traditional students, especially with programs like SUNY Reconnect, where the adult population is coming back in droves.
Oh, they're coming back in droves. And it's such a great opportunity. I mean, I think as a communities college, we've tried ways to let folks know that we're here. We've tried to open, our doors have always been open. We're trying to highlight how we're opening those doors for all of our students. SUNY Reconnect really helped push that envelope for us. It really helped push that opportunity for us to say, welcome. And guess what? You don't even have to worry about things because we're going to make sure that we help you take care of all of that coming in the door and throughout your time with us until you complete your degree.
Right. It's definitely been quite a shift there. So one of the things that does happen sometimes with these Reconnect students in particular, they'll come through and say, oh, I have to take math. Oh, I haven't seen math in 7 years. I haven't seen math since I was in high school, or, it might maybe even 10 years or more. And students will go into the classes, and sometimes they hit that moment and they think, oh, you know what? Maybe I bit off more than I can chew. I don't think I can do this. I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm feeling a lack of self-confidence, I think is what it ends up coming down to. So let's talk about what kind of support systems that we have in place to help those students push through that moment and realize their own potential.
Absolutely. First, I want to shout from the rooftop of this building, you can do this. If I did it with the extenuating circumstances that I faced, you can do it, right? And most of the individuals I know, right, we're all balancing and juggling some things, and it's easy to want to give up, to think we want to give up. But staying the course is really important. You can do this, and I think that's the key message that I want to share. And you don't have to do it alone, right? We have a large care team that surrounds you here at Genesee Community College. doesn't matter what you need, what you're struggling, how you're struggling. We have a support team who can help you through those challenging moments, even if it's just, yes, you can do it and you need that, right? That motivating, you can do it call. Let us know. I mentioned some of the areas that I oversee, but I want to highlight the supports that we have in place when we think we can't do it, right? What are the supports we can help you to get through? I oversee our academic coaching area, right? So our coaches in the Student Success Center who can help you to figure out what your class schedule looks like, the best time to take those classes, how to manage it, how to create that class schedule around all of the commitments that you have. Our counseling and mental health supports. I think sometimes we often forget how important just taking that moment, stepping away from the chaos and the frustration or the confusion or that I can't do it, and just sitting down talking with one of our counselors or one of our staff members to share that feeling and to have the support that's needed to get you, as you're walking out the door, yes, I can do this, I've got this. Accommodations, right? Some of our students need various accommodations to be successful in the classroom or the online classroom, right? We have a team of people who can make sure that you have the supports that you need to be successful in your classrooms. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to figure it out on your own. We have a care team who is here and ready and wanting to make sure that students have what they need. Wellness supports, right? Even though we have a wellness center, we offer our wellness programs online as well. And so connecting with that team for different opportunities, just staying engaged. Maybe it's a virtual yoga session, right? All of those things that you can do to stay active. Let's see, we have student engagement and inclusion. Yes, we have a busy and active campus, but we also offer a lot of those opportunities online. We have a child care center right on campus, and so even if you're remote, if you're in the area, want to come in, check out our child care center. See if it's a place where you want to bring your kid and maybe take some classes on campus. We're family friendly. In the library, we have a whole entire kids book section, a children's book section right in our library. If that isn't telling our students, if you're nearby, come on in, bring your children with you while you're doing your homework. They can be occupied with some good reading as well. We have a food pantry, right? Right now, with so many challenges happening, we have a food pantry. The food pantry also not only provides food for students in need, online students as well. And if you are not local to the area, please let us know. There are opportunities for us to get some things your way. We have a coat closet, so for students who need, right, winter gear, it's starting to get cold. Again, if you're in the area, let us know. If you're not in the area, we can get the things that you need shipped to you. So let us know what you have, and we will make sure that you have it. I also have a liaison in my office who works really hard. I mean, her job is to advocate for all students' needs, and whether it's a place to stay, health care, food services. She's got connections in different places, and if she doesn't, she'll make those connections in your local area to find ways to get you the supports that you need to be successful. So it's I call it the care team, right? Mm-hmm. We care about our students, and we're making sure that they have everything that they need to be successful.
And I absolutely love that. Okay, yes, you started with academic, and we kind of went through the journey of, mental health and supports, and but then we don't stop there.
No.
All the way through to, because you can't learn if you're hungry, and you can't focus on your studies if your children are hungry.
Right.
And so, just thinking about the whole student and the whole student needs.
Yes. When we're the community's college, it's that holistic perspective. It's not only the student that we care about and want to make sure is supported and has all of their needs met. It's that entire structure, that circle of people that surround that student. So if it's your children, right, if it's your family members, I mean, I know some students are, I think we call it the sandwich generation, right? We're taking care of little kids and our parents, right? Mm-hmm. And my household is one of those, right? We have a young child and we have aging parents that require our support. And so I am empathetic to those who are managing, right, whatever those responsibilities might look like, and making sure that we're supporting you with the things that you need, both academic and other, so you can complete that degree.
Right. And I just want to send a shout out to our Student Government Association, because the student government
Yes.
has had multiple fully online students, even in other states, who have served as officers in student government.
Yes.
And been actively involved in making some of the choices for students at our college.
Yeah. And doesn't that just warm your heart?
I love it. I love it.
You don't have to be physically on the campus to hold a leadership role at this institution as a student leader.
Yeah, absolutely you do not, and that's so wonderful to hear.
Absolutely.
So you talked a little bit about amplifying student voices, and I want to give you a chance to talk about some of the things that, we are providing lots of services to students, but also the ways in which that we're reaching out and just listening to students and getting their needs and finding out what their pain points are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think that's a really great question, Loy. One of the most important things on my to-do list when I arrived to GCC last December was connecting with our students. One of the first things I did is I kicked off what I called the listening and engagement tour, which included meetings with student affairs leaders and other colleagues across the institution to learn about our services and supports that we provide for students and other colleagues across the college, to know all of the things that we offer. It also helped me to learn the things that we're doing really well, mm-hmm. and the opportunities that maybe we can enhance some things. Mm-hmm. And so I partnered with Student Engagement and Inclusion to host what I called VP Connections, right? I took the time and the opportunity, as students allowed, to play pool with students. I handed out ice cream, right? I made ice cream sundaes and handed those out one day. Another day, it was cookies and milk in the cafeteria. I was trying to create opportunities to connect me directly with our students. I wanted to hear from students, and I would say, hey, you can have all the cookies you want, but tell me, what's one thing about GCC that you like the most, and what's something that we can do differently to make your experience better here. It was an eye-opening experience to hear from our students and learn the things that we are doing well, learn about how they felt about the college, learn about the things that they believed they need in order to be successful. That allowed me to think about how I can help advocate for them, how my team can advocate for them, and how we can amplify those voices across the entire institution so everyone knows who our students are. This fall, I kicked off Fireside Chats, which I am co-hosting with SGA, Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And one of our sessions was at the Root. And at the Root, so it was interesting because it was also Taco Tuesday, right? So I had students who were only coming in for food, and I was trying to make sure that I could hear the voice of our students. And so I placed 3 different poster boards up. I brought stacks of sticky notes and markers, and I asked the students who were coming in if they could write down 3 things for me. 1, tell me what belonging means to you as a student. Campus culture check. Share a challenge or an issue that you or someone close to you experienced at GCC. Mm-hmm. And the other topic, or the other poster board, was speak your truth. Tell us what's working well and what's not working well, what we might need to do differently, or some things that we needed to change to make sure that GCC was the best experience for all of our students. And it was fascinating. Loy, you can see this. I know our students can't see this, but these are all of the comments that our students wrote down.
Wow.
And I want to highlight some of the things that students shared. And this is what I then take to make sure that I'm amplifying our student voices, right? That I am, shouting from the rooftops, 1, how our students feel, what they need, what we need to change. When they posted their sticky notes that talked about experience and belonging, they talked about being comfortable to speak their mind and be themselves and be comfortable at GCC. That was a moment of pause for me, right? That's what came to the student's mind. That we're friendly and we provide various supports, that we're accepting of different identities and different individuals, that I feel like I belong here because of that. I read from students that we create opportunities for students to interact with each other, on an equal, unbiased atmosphere where age and background doesn't matter. Right? These are written verbatim from the sticky notes. I know that my identity is valid in the eyes of my professors. They know me. They understand me. They advocate for me. Mm-hmm. My identity is respected. When they were writing about campus culture, right, I was hearing things like, it's really great, but I would like to see a variety of food options, right? Can we look at vegan and vegetarian, halal and gluten-free options, right? Mm-hmm. That's top of the list, right, for the students who are on campus eating. Another challenge when they were talking about campus culture is feeling overwhelmed with schoolwork. Right? And that was a common theme through a couple of them, right? Struggling to balance work and education and relationships, dealing with stress, food instability, right? And the last one was speaking your truth, and that was asking students to tell us what we were doing well and what we could do better. Accessibility continues to be a focus of our students, how we're supporting students online, looking at how we are amplifying inclusion and diversity across the campus and what that looks like, enforcing some things like campus policies and such. And for my online students, I want the opportunity to connect with you all as well. And so mark your calendars. Monday, November 17th, will be the virtual fireside chat. So I hope you'll join me there and tell me how you feel about these things, right? What does experience and belonging look like to you as an online student? What could we do better to make sure that you're feeling engaged, right? That we're inviting you to the table. What does that look like for you? How do we meet you where you are? What does campus culture look like and feel like for a student who is virtual, who is working remotely, right? And managing different things at different times while you're trying to do your schoolwork. What can we as the institution be doing to support you in those efforts? Speaking your truth. What are some things you like about GCC as a remote student? And what are those things that maybe we could really be doing differently, right, to meet your needs? And so I am looking forward to you joining me on November 17th. We will make sure that that information gets out to all of you through Brightspace and other means of communication, so you have that link. But my job is to hear from students, and I take that seriously, to connect with students. My job is to make sure that the student voice is amplified, advocated for, supported, and that we get you to your goal.
Oh, that is awesome. And so November 17th, that's a Monday.
No,
right?
Monday, November 17th.
Monday, November 17th.
Yes.
There will be a fireside chat, and that is awesome. So, like the opportunity we had this morning, but I would imagine a little bit bigger, opportunity for students to be heard by people on campus. And it's nice there because you and I have both taken online courses, and I didn't always feel like the campus that I went to for my online classes was actually listening. I didn't get those survey opportunities. I didn't get those panel opportunities. And so some of the things that we do here, I think, yeah. Why didn't I get that?
Lloyd, I giggle because, we were doing online before online was a thing, But I think those experiences help folks like us pay really close attention to our students who are remote.
Yes.
Because we've been there, we've tried that, and we didn't necessarily have the opportunities to participate and engage in the ways that our student engagement and inclusion or the college provides our students now. We were online. It usually wasn't a live session. You were logging on, and we were doing our work independently and submitting it. I never met, or there were very few professors that I even had a conversation with. It was all email or on the chat. Here, it's so much. It's so different because we're building relationships with our students, right? Whether it's through the course shell, whether it's through the engagement, whether it's making sure that you have the resources that you need through counseling or other departments, right? And so very different experience for us.
So can I share something random? that came out this morning because it just popped into my head as you're talking. And when we were asking the students, one of the questions we asked students is, what would you tell a new online student? That was just getting going. And the first thing that they said, and all of them echoed it loudly and clearly, they said, immediately go to your professor's office hours or make a Zoom appointment. Just about every professor here at GCC, every instructor here at GCC will give you that opportunity. Yes. And when you put that face with that name and you have a conversation, it's so much easier to ask questions.
Yes.
When the problems happen.
Yes.
Right.
Well, because now you're really talking to a real person.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There's a face to that voice that you hear or a face to that text that you see online, which is something that I don't know about you, Loy, but that's not the opportunity I had 20 years ago, right? During
it's
online
not the
learning.
opportunity I had 10 years ago.
Right? There was not that opportunity. You put a message in a message board and you just waited for somebody to get back to you. Having the opportunity to connect with our faculty is so different right now for our online students. And I continue that hopes to grow in new and unique ways. But it's not exclusive to just our faculty, it's our staff as well. And so I want to highlight, reach out to the Vice President of Student Affairs, the Dean of Students Office. We share a space, we work very closely together. You can reach us via email, you can call us, we can schedule video sessions with you. We want our students to connect, and we're going to be pushing out information in the future of how to connect with us in all different ways. We're working on that. You're not alone. We're here with you. You can be in another state. You can be in another country. You could be right next door and online. We want to make sure that we're accessible, that we're reachable, that you have all of the same supports and opportunities that any of our students have, whether at a campus site, the main campus, one of the campus centers, our main site, and online. It's really important to my office.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's a wonderful place to wrap up. Because that is the essence of what we're trying to do. So, Dr. Kim, thank you so much for being here and for everything that you and your team are doing to make sure that our students aren't just getting through the college, but actually being seen and supported while they're here with us. But before we sign off, I did want to make sure that students know how to reach you. So can you share the best way for somebody to get in touch with you?
Yes, and remember, we're only here, faculty, staff, administrators, we're only here because of you, right? So make sure we take care of your needs and help you. To reach me, please reach out. You can reach me at area code 585-343-0055, extension 6537. You can reach me via email at KIMCKINSEY@genesee.edu, or an easier way to reach me is cdo@genesee.edu. I look forward to hearing from you, learning more about how your experience is, how I can amplify your experience, how I can ensure that you have the needs being met to be a successful student at GCC and a future graduate.
Oh, wonderful. So if you're listening, you heard it. You're not invisible. You're not supposed to figure this out alone. There are people whose entire job is to see you and to help you succeed.
Yes, absolutely. Well said, Loy.
Don't go it alone. Use them. Use the people.
Don't go it alone. Right.
Yes.
We are here. We are responsible to do so. And tell us how we can do a better job of reaching you where you are. If there's ways that would be helpful for us to get information to you or to be accessible to you, if you have that, let me know what those things are.
And I don't have this on the paper here, but I just want to put a plug in. We've been talking a little bit about every semester we have an event called Connect with the President. And it's like how many colleges, their college president will come down and do a live session to listen to online students and their concerns and questions.
Probably few.
Our college president is phenomenal. And he is going to be here. I know originally we had him scheduled for October 30th and something came up, but we have him scheduled for next week, November 13th, and we promise this time he will be here sitting in the chair where you are and listening to students. And we have an online form where if you cannot listen live, you can put your questions there in there ahead of time, because Connect with the President is always a listening and answering question session directly with Dr. Lamb. So November 13th, he will be here. Make sure you get your questions in.
That's fantastic. I don't know that I ever met with the president of any of the institutions where I went to school or had the opportunity to connect with them. And so that to me, as someone who is still fairly new at the institution, that really just solidifies, why I chose GCC. Because we are accessible for students, and knowing that the president is going to be on the podcast is pretty exciting to know and pretty special. That is fantastic.
Very much
That is
so.
fantastic.
Very much so. But it's not one person. We
Yes.
have an entire institution
team.
here to support the students. So I would just say thank you so much for being with us tonight, and all of the great information. And we'll also be, promoting your event on November 17th, the
Yes.
Fireside Chat.
Yes, thank you, Lloyd.
Lots of opportunities for our online students to speak and be heard.
Yes.
And literally, we changed a few things today based on our student panel. That's how fast we were responsive
Yes.
to their pain points.
Absolutely. And I'd be remiss if I didn't put a plug in for our Dean of Students, Dr. Ian Slater, who is one of the strongest student support advocates I have ever worked with in my 20-year career. And so write down the name, Dr. Ian Slater, Dean of Students, and maybe we can get him on the podcast.
I was just
at
about to
some point.
say, yes.
He's doing a phenomenal job of just assessing all of the supports and all of the systems and structures we have in student affairs to make sure that we are accessible for all of our students, that we are providing the right resources and supports and guidance as needed, and just probably the strongest student-focused person I have worked with. And so we definitely need to connect him with our online students as well.
Now, I need to get him on the podcast.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Loy. I really appreciate you having me on and having the opportunity to find ways to connect with our virtual students. You are not alone. You can do this. Please let us make sure that we get you to the finish line.
Okay. Well, thank you for being with us. So I'm Loy from Online Learning, and now you get to hear our mantra. Every guest on the program, I'm like, you haven't heard our mantra yet. For Study With Me, our mantra is progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection.
Yes.
I appreciate that, Loy. Thank you.